What's the hill you want to die on for vet med right now?
What's the hill I want to die on?
I'll tell you mine.
Yeah, tell me yours. Give me an example.
I think this is the best freaking profession you could ever be in, period. No ifs, no ands, no buts. Veterinary medicine is the absolute best. And I will be the biggest cheerleader for this profession and doing everything I can until my last breath to make sure that other generations see it the same way. Throwing away your family, money, what would be your goals in the next 5 years as a veterinarian?
I would love to go up and do some Iditarod work. I would also love to do some international veterinary medicine. I would love to go do some spay neuter clinics, go do some vaccine clinics. I would also
internationally.
Yes, internationally. I would love to do some public speaking for like small veterinary schools and just tell them, like you can do this. It's hard right now, but it's worth it. There's so many children in this world that feel like they can't do anything with their life because of the circumstances that they were put in. And I'm so grateful that my husband and I have built the life that we have together and that I'm able to live my career. It was my childhood dream, and being able to actually live the life. It's amazing.
Veterinary medicine loves the highlight reel, but it rarely talks about the cost of getting there. Today's guest doesn't come from a polished linear path. She comes from survival, self-doubt, motherhood during vet school, and the reality of becoming a doctor while still figuring out who you are allowed to be. Dr. Allie Williams is a new graduate practicing small animal medicine with a growing focus on pain management and mobility. But what makes her story matter isn't just what she treats, it's how she got here. This conversation isn't about inspiration for inspiration's sake. It's about identity, resilience, early career reality, and what veterinary medicine doesn't prepare you for, emotionally, personally, or professionally. If you're a student, a new grad, or someone wondering whether you belong in this profession at all, this episode is for you. Welcome to Irreplaceable Truths. Well, Allie, I want to really get into your story because, like I told you when we first met, I was very impressed with everything that I read. And I hope I didn't freak you out because I deep researched you and found out everything I could.
Oh my gosh. I know. I was like, how does this guy? I actually told my husband, I was like, yeah, he knew that I lived at the Baptist Children's Home. I was like, he did research.
Well, don't give the listeners any preview there. So why don't you give us a backstory about because you've talked about it publicly, so I don't feel bad asking you about it. Why don't you give us a little history about your backstory of your childhood?
Okay. So I think it's important to know how my parents met. So my dad, he met my mother at a strip club. And I am born in November, so I'm a Valentine's Day baby. So
you're a Scorpio.
I'm a Scorpio, yes. And they love to say that I was planned, but if you can do math, then you know. And I think that's a really good setup for my story because there was a lot of conflict and alcoholism within my story. So my parents, they had me. I actually, whenever I was really young, I lived with my mom's grandmother. So I lived with her until I was about 5. Then my dad met my stepmother. And so I lived with them from 6 years old till I was 15. And whenever I was young, it was fine. There was definitely like I was a very strong-willed child. So I was a little bit mouthy, but my dad was an alcoholic. And as I got older, it started becoming more emotionally abusive. And towards the end, it started getting somewhat physical. And for some reason, I don't know if it was God, if it was me, I knew I needed to get out. So I called up my grandparents, which was my dad's dad. And I said, hey, can I come move in with you guys? So I moved in with them and I lived with them for about 6 months. And then they sent me to the Oklahoma Baptist Homes for Children. And whenever they told me that, it was heartbreaking. I was like, what did I do? I am a good kid. Like, yeah, we had our conflicts. But that's kind of how my story, that's like the very short version. And if you want me to go more into details, I'm more than welcome to do that.
No, I think that's a wow. I mean, I as a father, I hear that story and I start to tear up. Because not everyone's made to be a parent, if that makes sense. How's your relationship with your dad today?
So I do still talk to both of my parents. Um, I wish I didn't have this like innate desire, but also like having my own child now, like I just want to know them. And it was really hard for me having my own child to see like it made me wonder, why didn't my parents love me? And I hate to say that out loud. Um, but yeah, I don't, yeah, sorry.
No, I mean because that I mean it kind of sets up the whole concept of ACEs, right? Which is basically childhood trauma leading to mental issues in your 20s, 30s, 40s and on. Um how did your childhood help build you to where you are today? What led you to be, hey, I want to become a veterinarian?
I think a lot of it comes from whenever I was little. I was always very in tune to dogs. I always had a dog obsession. One of like the first books that my actual biological dad gave me was the Encyclopedia of Dogs. And whenever I was young, I would just like look through it, and I guess that's where my love for animals came from. And I I don't know who gave me the idea of like you should be a veterinarian. I think it was probably from my passion of loving animals, but I just kept on wanting to do that. And of course, I always had I had moments where I wasn't sure if I wanted to be a veterinarian. And some of that comes from the fact that I did live at the Oklahoma Baptist Homes for Children. They're very much religious based, and they never really directly told me like, no, you can't have a career, but I always had this thought that my place was to be a wife and to be like a homemaker and to take care of the children. So I know it's kind
It,
of all over the place. We're all
well,
over the place. We get
no, no, but I mean, because do you believe that's how it was in the South, or do you believe that's how it was at the children's home?
I think some of it is since Medilla, Oklahoma is in a rural community. I think part of it was the fact that it's Southern and religious beliefs. But like I said, nobody directly told me that, but there was definitely emphasis to get married, have babies, and to take care of the children.
Are you still a woman of strong faith today?
I would say I definitely believe in God. I do not think that I would be where I am today without having um, I really think he carved my life, because I don't think a 15-year-old girl would have been like, I need to get out of this situation if there wasn't a higher being. I wouldn't necessarily say I'm Baptist or Catholic. I would just say I am a believer in a God.
I mean, because your childhood definitely was anything but linear. What what do you think it was in you that kept you going on the forward path?
Yeah, so I've been thinking about this, like, why did I keep on going? And I think there's a few characteristics. And I think one of them is the fact that I've always been a very positive person, even whenever I was being torn down, whenever I was being told I was worthless, I was never going to become anything. And I always thought that I was meant for more. And because my parents were alcoholics, I always knew that I wanted my children to have a better life. And also just the once I set a goal, I get very hyper fixated. And you could either say, that comes from my parents and their habits, and I probably do have a little bit of an addictive personality. Or you could also say, I'm passionate about helping animals. It's so I'm
Do you
struggling.
Yeah, well, yeah. No, no. I have an addictive personality as well. Do you
Yeah.
find yourself trying to be a people pleaser now?
Whenever I was younger, absolutely, yes. I was definitely a huge people pleaser. But now as I've gotten older, I definitely, and I think having children, you realize who cares about what other people think.
Okay, so where was your undergrad done?
I started undergrad at Southeastern State, Oklahoma. Southeastern Oklahoma State University in Durant, Oklahoma, while my husband was finishing up high school. I am 2 years older than him. I hate saying that. And then once he got out of high school, we transferred up to Oklahoma State University, and that's where I finished my undergraduate degree.
And then the day you got your acceptance letter into veterinary school, what did that symbolize in your path to this point?
Oh man, like whenever I got my acceptance letter, well, and I didn't get like a direct acceptance either. I applied to Ross University, and I did the vet prep program, and then I passed all the courses, and then I was admitted directly into the DVM program. But that was just a moment of truly feeling accepted. Like I finally did it. I finally I had this goal and I finally accomplished it. And honestly, I would say like the greatest epiphany for me was actually after I passed my NAVLE. Like that, I broke down. I was just physically crying because I felt like I truly broke my family's chain of addiction and that there was actually like light at the end of the tunnel.
Do you ever fall back on that today? Like that, I mean, like you can just when you speak, you can hear your passion about how you got to where you are and how much you loved what you did and how proud you were of yourself to get to where you got to. Do you ever have to sit back after a hard day, take a deep breath and look back at that and just remind yourself of all, and excuse my French, all the shit you've been through?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think there's so many children and there's just so many children there's so many children in this world that feel like they can't do anything with their life because of the circumstances that they were put in. And I'm so grateful that my husband and I have built the life that we have together and that I'm able to live my career. It was my childhood dream and being able to actually have like live the life. It's amazing.
I'm pretty sure with your childhood and everything, you always had to battle self-doubt. And I think you've been open about you also battled self-doubt when you were in veterinary school. How did you work through the self-doubt problem that you had? Because a lot of people say they have self-doubt, but they didn't have the road you had. So I think it's important to hear from you, especially how you got through all of that.
Yeah, so self-doubt is definitely a real thing, especially whenever you were told as a child that you weren't going to become anything. Um, and one of the things that I think is important is to accept that. Like not accept that you're not going to become anything, but it's okay to feel like you can't do it, but you can't harbor on that. You got to start doing the actions. You have to sit down and study and you have to try new things. Like even now, I have doubts in my career. Like I've been struggling with dentistry. Dentals. I hate dentals. Um, Wait, I took you back. I saw your little face.
Come spend a week with me. We'll be good.
Okay. That's what I need. Um, but I find myself telling myself, I can't do this. I suck at this. And I have to stop that. And I have to be like, yes, you can. This is your first time doing this. You just need to keep on going.
Yeah, I mean, you got to remember, you're a veterinarian. It's not easy to do. If it was easy to do, everyone would be doing it, correct? And that self-doubt is it can kill everything in you. Um it's amazing how much you and I have in common. As I was sitting here, both my parents were alcoholics. Both my parents, though, were very successful. Um, my dad was born in 1923. I was born in 1972. So if you want to talk about generational gaps, my dad was a Jewish man born in Turkey in 23. He's lived through the Great Depression. He lost his dad and his brother in the Holocaust. There are so many things that I could never, ever in a million years relate to. But I don't, no matter what, and he had his PhD in economics, but no matter what I did, I never felt as if it was good enough. and that built self-doubt. Plus, I had people telling my parents in elementary school I'd never make it past 6th grade. When I was in middle school, I'd never make it to high school. When I was in high school, I was never going to graduate. My swim coaches said, oh, no, you're never going to be able to swim in college. Yet I got a D1 scholarship in North Carolina. My counselors told me there's no way you're going to get into vet school. So you and I basically traveled the same path, but mine, at least I was in one home. Did you ever use your self-doubt or people doubting you? Forget the self-doubt. People doubting you as fuel to your fire. Do you use that today?
Oh, absolutely. If somebody tells me I can't do it, it makes me want to do it even more.
Hold my beer, right? Hold my beer. Hold my beer.
Yeah, and this probably comes back to my strong-willed. No,
that's a Scorpio. I'm a Scorpio as well.
Oh, man, we are the same person.
We are. I have an addictive personality. I'm very careful with things that I've done in my life and what I've tried. Having both parents being alcoholics, I found that, when I never ever in my life have gotten hungover.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. No, I can't say the same. I do like an occasional drink, but I do know that about myself, and so I have control.
No, what I enjoy cannabis instead.
So I may live in Colorado, but I have not partaken.
Oh, really? See, yeah, I stopped drinking about 12 years ago just because I was scared that I don't get hungover, and I'm like, no wonder how the hell my mom and dad did this.
Yeah.
Anyways, totally different topic. But so I think as I have this conversation with you, it's going to be almost looking at the female version of myself about 25 years younger. So this should be fun.
I have hair, unlike you.
Yeah. Was there a point when you were going through vet school where that was an aha moment that you're like, you know what? I am meant to be here?
Let me think. Honestly, I felt like as soon as I got into veterinary school, I felt like I could take a deep breath. Does that make sense? Because I think so many of us are so focused on getting into veterinary school and making sure like we have this perfect application and that we have the veterinary hours, the animal hours. And the fact that I finally got in and was like advancing my career, it was just amazing. And I couldn't really say that there was like one moment whenever I truly felt that, but I felt like I belong. And especially as I've started my career, like I know this is where I'm meant to be. And whenever I was going through veterinary school, I doubted that. I was like, am I going to be happy being a general practitioner? And what is this life going to be outside of school? But I've truly found that. And I feel happy the fact that I get to work with my clients and I get to see the animals and help them get better.
Do you think you'd be a happy practitioner if you're more comfortable with dentals?
Probably I would.
because general practice is the 3 Ds: diarrhea, dermatology, dentistry. If you look back at it, I mean, yes, you have your occasional limping dog, you have your occasional foreign body, you have your occasional, but everything, the 3 Ds is usually what you deal with.
Yeah.
So we got to get your dental stuff. What is it about dentals that freak you out? Extractions? Looking at dental x-rays?
I'm just not very patient. I think that's the problem. So I've broken some roots, and that is not fun.
No, it isn't. Why did you break those roots? Did you not burrow away enough bone before you tried to remove them?
I was too scared to burrow bone, which my mentor has been helping me through that. And I am going to dental training next month.
At VMX?
No, it's down in Dallas. It's with like the veterinary dentistry something specialist.
Oh, cool. So that's going to be your CE?
Yes. All the new grads do it.
Now, I got a question for you. Can your licensed technicians remove teeth in Colorado?
No, we remove them.
Oh, see, in California, licensed technicians can do dental extractions. So I haven't done a dental extraction in maybe 15 years. I can still do them, but my techs love doing them. So I taught them how to do it correctly, and they love doing it. So all I would have to do was make the flap, and they would remove all the teeth, do the post-op dental x-rays, and suture that flap closed.
Oh my gosh. Man, that's what I need. Maybe I need to move to California.
Yeah. No,
No, incisor, I got you.
Oh my gosh. Don't give me that. You got to learn that PM4 that has a slab fracture, but healthy as all get out. You got to learn how to get that thing out. And
I
it's
know
not
that's one
hard.
that I broke. I had a slab fracture and I broke the root and I shoved it up in the sinus and it was a mess, but we got it out.
I'm sure you did, but you just got to take it easy. I mean, remember, just take your time, and people want to know why dentals cost so much money. That's exactly why.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly why. So, now when you went to veterinary school, you got pregnant, correct?
Yes, I did. My
What year?
husband and I tried. So my husband and I, we had tried to get pregnant the summer before I started veterinary school, and it didn't happen. And then whenever I started veterinary school in January, I was like, I don't need to have a baby. I found out I was pregnant February of 2021.
Wow.
So
So you did most of your first year pregnant,
mm-hmm.
and then you took a leave.
Yeah, so I did my first and second semester at Ross, and I was pregnant. And then I tried to work it out where I could do my third semester whenever I was going to have my daughter online. But actually, one of the faculty, she was like, "Don't do that. Like, you're going to be a new mom. You need to take this time off." And I am so grateful that she told me that. At first, I was really annoyed because I was like, I don't want to get behind. But just having that first month to truly embrace being a new mom, embracing this new chapter with my husband was such a blessing. And then I ended up applying to transfer to Oklahoma State University and I was accepted. And then I transferred into Oklahoma.
And there you go. And now,
Yeah.
yeah. So you're a new mom and going through vet school. What was that like? Were you like, I mean, it's already tiring enough to be a new mom. It's already tiring enough to be in vet school. How the hell did you do that?
Dude, I was tired.
You're still tired. Don't tell, but you're not as tired, but you're still tired now, right?
We have a Breville espresso machine now, so I drink a lot of coffee. That's what gets me through the day. But yes, dude, it was such a blur. Like I would wake up in the middle of the night, I would just be laying there half asleep and then making time to study. That was hard, which I think it was actually a blessing with Av being so little because she was still sleeping quite a bit. I could just hold her and go through my lectures, but it was definitely a blur. And I think one of the biggest things is I was just always focused on getting through the next exam. I would never focus on the finals or, that assignment. I would focus on what is happening right now. And that would be my main objective. I would take it day by day.
Do you think becoming a mom in veterinary school changed your identity and your resiliency as well?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, my whole life I've had to adapt and be resilient. And the fact that I had my daughter, even it enhanced that. And like I said, I used to be a big people pleaser. And having my daughter, I had to change my priorities. I couldn't just go out and do all the social interactions. And I had friends be like, "Hey, why don't you come out?" And I would have to be like, "No, I need to have family time." And in the past, that would have really bothered me. I would have been like, "Oh, I let this person down." But it helped me become my own person and it helped create my personality. If that makes sense.
What do you want to say to people out there that, because there are a lot of people out there, especially where you're from, that say you can't be a full-time professional and a mom at the same time?
I would say you absolutely can. It will just look different and there's no equal split. So you can't just balance it perfectly all the time. You're you're
So
like,
you think the whole term work-life balance is a pile of poo, just like I do?
oh, absolutely. Because I mean, even now, yes, I have my 7-day week. I have my 3 days where I go to work and I'm solely focused on my job. Like, of course, if something happens, I will leave and we will take care of my family. And then the other 4 days, I am a mom. So even then, it's not a perfect split. And I do have some guilt for that because I'm like, those 3 days I'm working, I'm missing out on my daughter. Like, I'm missing out on activities. Like, I missed out on her Thanksgiving lunch, but I still have so much time with her in my other 4 days that I get off with her.
Are there any stereotypes you want to squash or assumptions you want to squash right now?
Absolutely. The fact that you can't do both, yes, you can. It's just you have to create your life and your vision, and don't let other people convince you otherwise.
Yeah, I mean that's the problem I think with society today is that we allow a lot of people to try to make decisions for us, and we're okay with it without pushing back. And I agree with you. I watch my wife, who's a veterinarian. She's probably the world's best mom. Yes, I probably am biased, but she's the world's best mom, the world's best wife, the world's best daughter you could ever ask for. And she's not the only one. There are so many veterinarians out there that are moms. And I just feel as if sometimes you guys are just, I don't know. Sometimes I feel as if society looks at professional women and kind of like shakes their head, like we're not evolving. Do you get any of that pushback from your clients, or are they very supportive?
I would say here they are very supportive, but even whenever I found out I was pregnant and I was telling people I was going back to school, I had people be like, why? Like, just stay at home. Like, your husband's going to be a lawyer. Like, he could definitely take care of you. And yes, he could. But what if something happens to Austin? Like, I want to be able to support my daughter and my future family. Like, if something happens, like, I just don't think that we should be truly tied to one person, if that makes sense.
Well, I would just look them in the eye and say, listen, I've had to support myself my whole fucking life.
Yeah.
That would
And
end the
maybe
conversation.
that's how
That would
I
end the conversation right there. Like, I've never been able to depend on anybody.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe that's why I feel so strongly about having my own career, because I have had to take care of myself through my entire life.
So you get through vet school and everything's going great, and you get into practice. What was that reality like?
Oh man, I realized I did not know as much as what I thought. I was like, how do I treat an ear infection? I was like, I have all these drugs on the market. I know not to use gentamicin in a dog that doesn't have an eardrum, but can I even truly appreciate the eardrum? Man, it has been a giant learning curve, but it's a journey every single day.
Where are the biggest gaps that you
Biggest
believe?
gaps in terms of
Yeah,
like my knowledge.
yeah, between school and actual practice. What are the biggest gaps you think there are?
I think we focus so much on the zebras, you know? Like I so just like the basic stuff, What let me think.
Not everything has Cushing's.
Not no, exactly. Not everything has Cushing's. And do you know how many times I've been like, this dog is drinking a lot. This dog is urinating a lot. Let me put Cushing's on top of my differential. And then the ALP is just like a little bit elevated. And my mentor's like, no, that not even close.
Maybe the dog's hypertensive. Maybe the dog has a psychological problem. Maybe the dog has diabetes insipidus. Maybe
Exactly.
that, I mean, there are so many things that the gaps. How about on the soft skills? Like, did you feel like you could go in day one and communicate with a client?
Oh, absolutely not. That's actually been one of the things that I've struggled with the most, is figuring out how to take all of this medical terminology and being able to relay it to my clients. So I've even noticed, like, whenever I'm explaining stuff, I can see whenever they kind of glaze over and I'm like, okay, let me back up, let me slow down, let me clarify, let me ask where I lost them. And I definitely have started like getting my little spiels down, but it's taken time for sure.
Little hint for you. Does your husband know medicine at all?
No, not really.
So act like your client is your husband and you have to explain what's going on with the animal.
Okay.
That's the trick. Like, the trick is trying to explain it to your mom, or trying to explain it to your best friend, or trying to explain it to some stranger, which you have to remember, clients are strangers. They don't know us. They don't know us. And try to explain it at their level. You got to think, how do I get it to a fifth grade level?
Yeah, and I think, because I started doing like mini vet rounds with my daughter, and I think that has also helped me tremendously, is how do I explain it to my 4-year-old, and essentially doing that with my clients.
And does she ask questions back?
Yeah,
Like
oh
your
yeah,
clients?
oh yeah, she's a smart little thing. I'm like, man,
It must be your husband, right? Your husband's side.
yes. I gave Av her strong-willedness, and Austin gave her intellectualness.
End of a long day. You're about to drive home. What hits you? What emotion hits you the most? Pride, exhaustion, fear of having to go home and have to start job number 2. Is there, what goes through your head?
It definitely depends on the day. If I've had a hard day, I run through those cases in my head. I'm like, what could I have done better? Did I relay this information correctly? Sometimes I'm like, yes, I crushed this day. Like, I did that spay in 30 minutes, like, bam. Or I did that foreign body. But then obviously, like, if Av's still awake, I'm like, oh gosh, now I got to go home and take care of her and take care of the dogs. And then my husband
Yep.
wants to chat to me, and I just want to sit in silence. So, but at the end of the day, whenever I think back on my life and my life, I would say it's overwhelmingly I'm proud. I'm proud of how far I've come.
Do you find yourself ruminating a lot? Do you go home and just think about your cases over and over again until you fall asleep, even when someone's trying to talk to you, even when you're trying to play with your child?
I would say in the beginning, yes, because I was like, did I actually make the right decision? And of course, there are those cases that really stick with you, and you're like, I don't even know what's going on. But I would say a lot of the time, it's just, I just want to decompress.
Yeah, decompress. How do you do that?
I do like to read, so I try to read as much as I can. I do like to take my dogs on walks. I like to go hiking. I love to travel, but obviously that requires time and money. And then, but like in the evening, I also scroll more than I should. I shouldn't do that, but
Yeah.
it's something
Oh,
to
social
clean my
media.
mind. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely,
You,
especially with
you, yeah, you just got to just put your phone down.
yeah.
Like, it's, there's a certain time that, now that I'm in academics, and I'm also, own a multimedia marketing company. I, for me, I'm using the right side of my brain instead of the left. The left was medicine and numbers. The right is the creativity part. And let me tell you, once your right side of your brain gets going, you'll find yourself being able to do a lot of different things to decompress other than scroll. Um, have you, I mean, because your journey is remarkable. And have you thought of ever starting to just journal and write about it?
So yes, one of my goals for this year was to journal. I was better at it at the beginning. I would say the fact that I am trying to do social media has kind of transitioned me to creating videos on my phone, scrolling. But I do need a journal more, and I have thought about writing a book. I think that would be really interesting.
Well, especially when you start with, they met at a strip club. I mean, that should be your first line.
Yeah. Do you know what the strip club is called too?
Sure, I would love. What was it called?
It was called Baby Dolls, apparently.
Baby dolls. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
such a
Well,
romantic meeting.
yeah. Well, I mean, there's some great strip club names across the baby dolls.
Yeah, I
Wow.
don't even know if they're still open.
Yeah. Well, the good thing about baby dolls is that it created one hell of a strong professional woman. So I give it 5 stars on that, because you hear your stories and you are in the minority. with your childhood, you are in the minority. There is no way you can tell me if you're able to name at least 4 others that have done what you have done. I'd be impressed.
Well, now I got Dr. G.
Yeah, but Dr. G still didn't have your childhood. Dr. G had some of the problems, but Dr. G, I remember I told you, had very successful parents. So
Yeah.
Dr. G, but everything else, yeah. No, for me, it's just for me. Like I said, it was just more of a hold my beer type thing. You don't think I can do this? Hold my beer. You don't think I could work full time and get my MBA? Hold my beer. You think I'm crazy now to get my doctorate? Hold my beer. That's the way I look at it. I never step down from a challenge. Do you find yourself that way?
Backing down from a challenge?
Yeah.
No, definitely not.
I'm not going to jump out of a plane. It's like, don't tell me to go skydiving. You know what I mean?
Hey, I have been skydiving, and I think everybody should.
If the engines are working, and I have, and I'm comfortable, and I'm about a gummy in, the last thing I'm going to do is have to jump out of there.
But listen, it because you should always try to do things that you tell yourself that you're not going to ever do. Push past your boundaries it helps build your character.
Yep, I'm sure it does, and I'll take your word on that one. I
Smith
trust you. I trust you, the expert.
Oh my gosh. No, it was Will Smith that inspired me to go skydiving.
Was it really?
Yeah, really, really.
Was that before or after he punched Chris Rock?
That was before he went off the edge. So whenever, because like I said, I went to undergrad, and then I actually took some time off because I missed my application, and then I also was just a terrible student, and I just knew I wasn't going to get in because my advisor was like, you should probably consider another career. And so I was watching travel videos, and I decided that Austin and we should go travel all of 2020. And obviously that didn't happen.
No, I was going to say
COVID. This is just my life.
How do you do that in 2020? You probably got some very cheap flights.
Hey, well, we started December 28th of 2019, and we made it to 5 countries, but we ended up getting locked down in Thailand for about 5 weeks. Crazy experience. But whenever I was like looking up for things to do, I came across skydiving, and I always said I'd never do it. But then Will Smith says the greatest things in life are on the other side of fear. And I truly believe that, like I was too scared to travel. I was too scared to go skydiving. I was too scared to put myself out there for veterinary school. And I was scared whenever I found out I was going to have my daughter. And you know what? Like, that statement is so true. The scariest things in my life have been the greatest.
Do you think one of the biggest issues we have in veterinary medicine is that people don't understand that life begins when you get outside of your comfort zone?
Oh, yeah. My classmates, man, they are some soft people, I guess. Like, they're so scared of rejection. And whenever we were going through my entire 4th year, they didn't want to put themselves out there. They didn't want to do the skill because they didn't want to be judged. And I think we could do a lot better if we at least tried. Make the attempt and then go from there. See what happens.
I agree. I couldn't agree with you more, because when it comes to my kids, I'm always like, push yourself, but they're afraid of being judged. And I don't know if that's a generational thing, a societal thing. I mean, it is societal, right? Because everyone wants to be the Barbie doll. Everybody wants to look like the pictures they used to see in magazines, but now see on social media. And it's a concern, because if you hold yourself back, you're going to have absolutely no freaking clue of what you're capable of, ever.
And you're going to ever.
And that's why when you say you're scared of dentals, I'm like, man, you jump out of a plane, yet a simple dental scares you?
Hey, I still do them, though. That's the difference. I'm still out there putting myself out there. I just don't like them. But we're going to get past that.
Okay, so now perfect segue, because you've said some of your classmates are quote unquote soft. What surprised you the most about the emotional side of the profession?
Like in terms of like what I've been struggling with emotionally.
No, just emotional in general. Like, yeah, you or I'm pretty sure you still talk to some of your classmates. What what are some of the biggest issues emotionally that you all are dealing with right now?
For me, I think I struggle whenever like my clients they financially can't do anything. Like the finances are the barrier. And I hate that more than anything. And I struggled with that a lot at the beginning because I went into this career to help people help their animals. And whenever there's a price tag on that, that just kills me.
Is there anything you believe that the new grads are bringing in to the profession that we don't talk about?
Um, I think, let's see, what are we bringing into the profession? Man, that's a hard question.
Yeah. Well, what do you want? Want me to pitch you softballs the whole time? Come on. You're a
No.
Scorpio that's jumped out of a plane. Let's go.
Oh my gosh. What I think this isn't exactly what you're talking about, I think, but I think we are more we're trying to do more like work-life balance. I would say I've heard a lot of older vets complain about that. They're like, "Well, why wouldn't they want to work 60 plus hours a week?" And it's because most of us are women. And as like my other classmates, they're starting to get pregnant and they're going to be having their own families. Like they're going to want to spend time with their family.
That was a perfect answer. I don't know
Okay.
why you were doubting it.
I was like, "Oh
No,
gosh."
when it comes, well, the problem when I was looking at things to research in this profession, one of the things I was looking at was the generational. Uh, I'm brain farting. I was looking at the feminization of the profession. Right, it started by all men, and if you look at it, like for example, you go back to Oklahoma State. You know how they have all the graduating class pictures up on the wall somewhere,
Mhm.
right? And just walk slowly. Start back in the 40s and 50s and slowly look at these pictures and just see how they change.
Oh, it was all men back then, and then I think it was like the '80s whenever it started becoming women started entering the profession, and then now it's pretty much all women. Like I
Correct.
think my class had like 13 guys.
Yep. I we had 7 in a class of 80.
Wow.
And so the thing is people tell me, "Well, yeah, I guess you had pick of the litter because I met my wife at the interview." And I'm like, "No, that wasn't it." I but anyways, but the thing is when you look at that and you see how the profession has evolved that way as far as feminization of the profession, do you believe the profession evolves quick enough, or do you still see, because I know you're still young, but do you see people or have been told by people that's like, hey, we've been doing it like this for 20 years, why do we need to change it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I had that one situation where I was on an externship and I went to autoligate a spay. And they were like, "No, put a ligature on it. That's how we've done it. That's the true and tried way." And why are we standing still? Like we should be advancing. Even something as simple as that.
I never got to use an auto ligator. I
Oh,
don't
it's
I
so
don't like
nice.
I don't like you anymore.
Oh no! Oh, okay. You'll teach me
You know how
dental.
envious I am? Do you know
Autoligate.
how envious? Because when they came out, I wanted to buy one, and they were like $15,000-$20,000.
Oh, you're talking about the ligature. I'm
Yeah.
talking about like autoligating cat space.
Oh, tying it on itself,
Yeah.
self ligation. Okay. Yeah. That.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. My Yeah. That's a procedure as well that I never was privy to learn. Um, and that makes me mad too. Do you do ovariorectomies or ovary hysterectomies
Depends. If I have good exposure, then I'll do like an OHE. But if I don't have that much of exposure, I'll just do an OE.
on dogs and cats?
Mhm. Yep.
Oh, are you worried about the uterine cancer or the stump pio?
No, because you take away the hormones.
You hope so.
Hey, I still have the fear of God
Ovarian remnant syndrome is
about.
there for everybody.
I know, but I always make sure to look at my ovary, making sure because Dr. Carter, she scared me.
Is there, so what are the top 3 things you're still trying to figure out as a veterinarian? We know number 1 is dental, so we'll throw that out. Give me 2 and 3.
What else am I learning? Well, I have my first diabetes case. So
Okay.
we were learning that. It was a cat. I have her started on glargine.
Hmm.
Glargine.
How much
Yeah.
does that cost now?
For a pen, it's $67. So
Yeah.
not too bad.
Yeah, that went down in price. That used to be expensive. Okay. And what
Yeah.
else?
And what would be my third? Hmm. I still suck at placing a catheter, but thankfully I have technicians for that.
Oh, well, yeah, well, when you go to a hospital, do you expect your MD or the RN to put in the catheter?
Your nurse.
Yeah, exactly. Are you expecting your doctor or a phlebotomist to pull blood?
Your phlebotomist.
Exactly. So don't worry about that. One of
That's
the
true.
biggest mistakes I think young career veterinarians make is that technicians are there for a reason. And I challenge you to this. Walk around with, well, I did it with change, but walk around with dollar bills. And then no offense to your upbringing, but walk around with dollar bills in your pocket.
Okay.
And every time a technician catches you doing something a technician should be doing, you owe them $1.
Oh, okay. Ooh, I would lose a lot of money. Because we're not even supposed to really like stain our slides, which I would say I do let the technicians place the catheters, do all that.
Well, no. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's like if it's a crazy freaking day, yeah,
Yeah.
I understand. But let's just say it's a normal day. Things are going smoothly. It's a unicorn type day. I challenge you to that.
Okay.
And you got to let them know about the challenge or do it for a week. It will change your life immensely.
Can I do it with Monopoly money?
I'm telling you, if you put 20 single dollar bills in your pocket, you will learn very quick.
Okay.
Because in California, that's 2 gallons of gas. No, just kidding.
I believe it. Yeah. Yeah.
But no, but with me, I did it with change, and I was down about $45 before it finally kicked in.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a fun game, but it teaches you to start trusting your support staff. It teaches you how to prioritize what you need to do as a doctor, right? You need to surgery, you need to prescribe, and you need to diagnose. That is your job. That is your job. That's it. So just think about it. If you trusted your techs to go do everything you needed done, it could give you a few extra minutes to write up a chart, a few extra minutes to talk to a client, a few extra minutes to send an email to a client, follow up to an email. That's another question. You're a new grad, so how much technology are you using to make your life easier right now?
So we do use Scribe.
Okay,
No.
excellent.
We do our notes, and then our technicians, they do like transfer that over, and then we're supposed to read through them. I would say that's the other thing that I've been struggling with is finalizing my notes, like having enough time at the end of the day. So yes, I do need to be doing this. Tell them what to do, and then go sit down and do my medical notes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Couple other tricks. One of the things I do as well is ChatGPT has this little device called Applaud. You can either put it on the back of your phone or you can wear it as a necklace. They have 2 different ones. And you can record your entire physical exam and your conversation with your owner and just copy and paste that entire conversation to your medical record.
Okay.
And then you haven't missed anything, right? But I mean, charts are the bane of every veterinarian's existence. There's no doubt about it. There's too many doctors I talk to that like, oh yeah, I have a 12-hour shift, but I usually leave 15 and a half hours because I have 3.5 hours of writing up records because they don't trust AI and they don't want AI. Another little trick I've been telling people to try is if you take x-rays, take pictures of them and upload them into Chat, Gemini, and Grok, and see what diagnoses they give you.
Okay.
Yeah, just do it because, I mean, if you're in doubt, you just can do that. It actually is pretty, and I guarantee you, all 3 of them will give you some pretty good results. And I know a lot of people always like say, "Oh no, it gave me this or that," but if it's that crazy, you're not going to diagnose it that way. But
Mm-mm.
like, just try it, see what they say, see what it does, ask questions about it, and it actually gives you your radiology write up.
Oh, that'd be really nice. Especially since I'm always like, hey, doc, can you come look at this thoracic radiograph? Because I'm pretty sure it's normal, but just in case.
Just try it. I'm
Okay.
telling you, just try it. You just put in there 3.5-year-old male cat, chest films, breathing awkward per owner, and then put the pictures in there and see what it does. I'm telling you, just try it. I'm
Okay.
not saying to make it a part of your everyday life, but these are just little tricks and stuff you can try to make your life better. You you also said your big love, your big passion in veterinary medicine, sports medicine, right?
Yeah. Yes. I almost did an internship at Colorado State for rehab, sports medicine rehab. But then I found this clinic and I decided I'd go work for a few years. But I love a good orthopedic case.
Do you enjoy orthopedic surgery?
I have not done one yet, but I am wanting to start. There's two other doctors that do orthopedic surgeries, and I almost had one, but once again, they were financial, so we didn't get to do the fracture repair.
Yeah, there's a lot of things in veterinary medicine I love doing. The one thing I won't touch with a 10-foot pole is orthopedic.
Man, no, I
Yeah.
can't wait for that. And like I said, I really am interested in the rehab aspect too. Like, I want to get a water treadmill. I want to get my acupuncture certification, and I would like to get my rehab certification as well.
Yeah, I think University of Tennessee also has a huge sports rehab, don't they?
Yes, they do.
What was it that drew you to sports rehab or uh, sports medicine, pain relief, all that stuff?
Honestly, I'm not entirely sure the exact moment. It might have come from my childhood. I always loved Nintendogs and I love the agility dogs and just sporting dogs. As you know, I have my Siberian Husky and I wish I could run him all the time. I also became a runner whenever I was in school, although then I tore my labrum, so I'm currently injured. But I think we should we should work our dogs how they are, and I think it's whenever you have a surgery, like on the human side, they do the surgery and then they will rehab it. And I feel like we don't have that. I mean, we do have that, but it's very limited.
Is there a specific case that made you think this is the lane I really would love to do?
I think it was whenever I went to the Iditarod and we were working with the sports dogs. Do you know this already about me?
No, who'd you go with? Because I have there's another girl. I got to connect the two of you. She's out of Denver, and she's now spending all of her career studying cannabinoids in dogs.
Oh, cool.
But she was a military girl, military veterinarian, worked on the animals, in Afghanistan and Iraq, and then went into Iditarod and worked the Iditarod for 5 years.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, so that's kind of like the end goal. Not end goal, but I would like to do um some Iditarod work eventually. But we went with the school. I went with Dr. Michael Davis. Do you know him?
No, I don't. But I had a doctor at Illinois that would do it, and we had the chance to go. But -60 doesn't work for me.
Yeah, we didn't really get to like work with we did work with Iditarod dogs. We just did like the microchip, checked them in. But you have to be a veterinarian for 5 years before you can actually be part of the veterinarian team. And so I would love to do that one day.
Yeah, a little trick she said is always make sure you warm up your earbuds before you put your stethoscope in your ears, or else you'll get frostbite in your ear canal.
Oh my gosh. Okay, maybe not. That might be a little much. I've
Yeah,
been
I'll connect.
complaining.
I'll definitely be connecting the two of you because she's in. Like I said, she's in Denver. So yeah, I think you would actually really enjoy talking to each other. Is there something that you want people to understand about pain in animals that's a misconception?
Well, if your dog's limping, they most likely have some pain. And not all pain is related to bones. It can also be muscles, tendons, ligaments. I think people want us to just be like, oh, this is a fracture, but there's more to it.
Throwing away your family, money. What do you what would be your goals in the next 5 years as a veterinarian?
Like I said, I would love to go up and do some Iditarod work. I would also love to do some international veterinary medicine. I would love to go do some spay neuter clinics, go do some vaccine clinics. I would also,
Internationally?
yes,
Uh-huh.
internationally.
Okay.
I actually did meet a client. She goes down to Mexico and she does some clinics. So I gave her my contact information and I'm hoping to do that not next year, but the year after. Because I'm having my hip surgery in January. So I wouldn't be able to do that whenever she goes. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it, but it's okay. And then I would love to do some public speaking for like small veterinary schools and just tell them, like you can do this. It's hard right now, but it's worth it.
What's the hill you want to die on for vet med right now?
What's the hill I want to die on? Man.
I could tell you right now. I'll tell you mine.
Yeah, tell me yours. Give me an
I
example.
think this is the best freaking profession you could ever be in. Period. No ifs, no ands, no buts. Veterinary medicine is the absolute best. And I will be the biggest cheerleader for this profession and doing everything I can until my last breath to make sure that other generations see it the same way.
I love that. I think that's awesome because there's so much negativity in this profession. Everybody, like, whenever I was going through school, they're like, no, don't become a veterinarian. Like, you're gonna be miserable. You're gonna work your life away. But the fact is that you can pick and choose and you can create this career however you want it to be.
What was the dumbest advice someone gave you as a new grad?
My dumbest advice.
You don't have to say names or anything, but you can tell us what the advice was.
Oh gosh, man. Dumbest advice. I had someone that told me not to be truly honest. Like for example, whenever I broke that root, they're like, you don't have to tell them that. But to me, I want to be honest. I want to build that client veterinary relationship and I want to own up to my mistakes. Like, we're not all perfect. And I think whenever people visualize us as this all being and we know everything and we never make a mistake, this is why people think that veterinarians are bad. Gosh, I'm sorry. I'm really struggling today.
It's because I have you thinking about dentals. That's okay.
No, I want people to know that we're humans too, and we make mistakes. Humanize the profession.
Is there a belief about yourself you're finally letting go?
I think I can do it. I think I need to get rid of this self-doubt. And whenever I start getting these negative thoughts of how I can't do it, I just need to shove them out.
Personal question. You been to therapy?
No, I have not. But I have been thinking that I should do some therapy. Even though I feel like I have my life pretty well together, I think it would be worth my time.
You're that stubborn veterinarian that thinks, oh, I got all my shit together. It's them over there that don't. When I was getting my MBA at Pepperdine, they offered mental therapy for free, they said, but of course it's included in the tuition. But it's a great marketing ploy. But I decided, you know what? I'm going to be going to get my doctorate. I'm going to be studying attrition, burnout, all these things in veterinary medicine. Let me go try therapy. It was probably the greatest thing ever because they give you tools on how to battle your biggest issues. And my biggest issue was that I called the CEO that bought me out, of the corporation that bought me out, a fucking joke. And they asked me to leave. So I was being forced into retirement of a practice that I'd been at for 26 years. And that I owned for 23 of them. And they prepared me for what to expect in retirement. And if I didn't have that, I would not have been able to get through those first 4 to 6 months after retiring. So don't ever think that you have your shit together, because there's always things that are, they can give you tools to make things better. Even if you are perfect, they can still give you tools on how to make things better.
Yeah. And I always like trying to become a better person, trying to become the best version of myself.
Well, you got to do it for your daughter, and then your husband, and then your clients, in that order.
Okay. I'll
Right?
tell them that.
Right? Well, no. Kids come first. I mean, if you look at my wife's scale, I think it's daughters, her dad, her brother, her sister-in-law, the dogs, now the cats up there. We used to have a potbelly pig. Basically, I was down at the bottom, but
Oh my gosh.
I'm giving your husband a plug. I mean, family comes first, and you want to be the best version you can. And the problem is, a lot of times this profession gets in the way because of all the mental strifes that we go through as a profession between a healthy family and a broken family. And so, yeah, I would totally tell you. But if you do go to therapy, you got to start with the line of, let me just tell you how it all began.
Okay, I will. We're sorry for throwing that loop at you.
No, I love it. No, dude, it's awesome. I mean, so let me close with this. What does irreplaceable mean to you now? From your childhood to becoming a mom, through becoming a veterinarian, now being a new career professional. If you look at the word irreplaceable, what does that mean to you now?
I think it's being true to yourself, being honest, being like characteristics, being honest, being authentic, staying positive.
Allie, I can't tell you how much fun this was. And I can't tell you, I'm going to be a dad for a second, how proud I am of where you are. Because I've seen, as a dad, kids in broken families that just, they get through high school just because it's required, and that's it. And some of them don't even do that either. So what you've done and what you're becoming is very inspirational. I do hope you write that book. I do hope you get to the Iditarod. I do hope you learn that dentals are not scary. If you have your passion in sports medicine, don't let anything hold you back on that. Acupuncture is huge. Put that in your little toolkit. I mean, all those things are huge. And congratulations on everything. The sky's the limit. And exactly that. And if you do have self-doubt, you know how to get a hold of me, because there's absolutely zero reason you should have self-doubt, because you've accomplished something that only less than 1% of the entire population of the world is able to do.
Thank you so much, Dr. G.
Remember that. It's important. So if anyone wants to get a hold of you and are interested in your story or anything, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
They can reach me on TikTok at Dr. Allie Williams. My email is also dralliewilliams@gmail.com. You can always reach out to me there.
Yeah, I'm hoping people hear this story and start reaching out to you. And you're having fun with the social media though, right?
Yeah, I really am. It's my creative outlet. Like, I use so much of my left side of my brain, like you said, and to be able to engage my right side, it's really fun. And putting stories out there and inspiring other people. Like, and I've had a lot of young moms that are also wanting to go into veterinary school and be like, you're inspiring to me. It means a lot to me. And I hope they know that they can do this and they can accomplish whatever they want.
Yeah, you should write a children's book.
I have thought about that too. Maybe that's, maybe I'll just be a writer too.
Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Just sit down and just writing down stuff. You'll never know what will come together. I mean, I'm not kidding you. I'm 100% honest when I let you know that I put chat in voice mode and we go back and forth on ideas all the time when I'm driving in the car.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of chat. One of the other is he's also a big fan of chat.
Yeah, I
My
mean,
husband gives me crap about it, but I'm like, babe, it's great to be able to just bounce off ideas.
exactly. And to all the listeners out there, if you have any questions you want for Dr. Ali, or you have any follow-up questions for me, just hit me up. I'm on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Snap, any of those areas. And then I'll be more than happy to try to answer them. If I can't, I'm going to get Dr. Ali back. And don't worry, we will be following up with Dr. Ali, because we got to figure out how things go after Dallas. So from all of us here at Irreplaceable Truths, thank you for listening, and we'll catch you next time.